Oh, it's gonna be okay with a little bit of faith.
Hi friends, it's Faith. I am here editing and I realized I did not have an intro for this video. So I wanted to share with you a little bit before this video. So traditionally when people make or use pin boards, they use cork, and I was just kind of like, oh, that's cool, but I want to make something a little bit more personalized. So I figured out this is probably the cheapest way that you can go about personalizing your Disney pin board for your collection. I know there are sellers out there, but they are a little bit pricey, and if you're interested in making it yourself and you have these tools, I would definitely go for it. So check this video out. Thanks. For this project, you are going to start out with a piece of cork. So this is a 12 by 12 piece of cork. You're also going to want to get a frame that is exactly that size that this will fit into. Now you're also going to want to get a piece of felt to cover the front of the cork. Now this is a piece that I have painted myself with a Toy Story background. Additional tools you might need are a ruler. You're gonna need a marker of some sort. You're gonna need hot glue, and you're gonna need either scissors or a box cutter. So I personally usually use a box cutter here, and I'll show you how I do that. So I'm gonna move everything to the side except for my felt and my ruler. So I'm gonna take this felt here. I'm gonna make a mark with my Sharpie just at the top right here. So at the 12-inch mark. I'm gonna make one at the bottom as well. So another way you could do this that is actually pretty easy, you could just take this piece of cork on your felt, make a little mark here, and make a little mark there as well. So next, I am going to take my ruler. I am going to line it up, and I kind of just put my writing utensil, my marker down, and make sure my line's going to be straight, and then I kind of just drag my marker and make a mark. Now next part, we are already on to cutting. So once again, you could cut with scissors and just start cutting, but I like to cut with a box knife, a box cutter, or a utility knife of some sort, an X-Acto. So watch your fingers when you're here. You definitely don't want them over here like this. And this is a cork back ruler, and it makes sure it stays in place. Make sure it stays in place. So you want to make sure that your knife is really, really sharp when you're doing this. That's why you want to cut slowly and carefully, and it'll start to just break away. Now what you could do, maybe you're a sewer, you're a fabric person, you could use something like this. So now I have this piece right here, and I'm just gonna place it on top of my cork, make sure it is the right size. I don't need to make any adjustments, and we're good here. Next thing you want to do is take your hot glue gun and go ahead and plug this in. And when I plug it in, I actually like to make sure that I have something underneath it, and then this is just a board I use, just so that the hot glue doesn't get everywhere and it doesn't drip. So I kind of put it like that. You can actually set it up if your hot glue gun has this capability. And again, just keep your work area nice and clean, because you'll get really, really frustrated if your hot glue gets everywhere and ruins this project.
5 minutes later.
So how you know your hot glue gun is hot enough, you can actually feel it and kind of hover over it right here, or you can just test it out over here on your scrap placemat underneath. So I am probably gonna need some more glue, so I want to get that ready just in case, because you don't want to be frustrated in the middle of doing this and start having your hot glue dry and then it just doesn't turn out the way you want it to. So I'm going to get that glue stick ready, put it right here. So I am going to start directly on the cork here. And so again, I'm just going to make sure everything's right before I start. I'm going to put this right here off to the side. Don't keep it too far away. You want it close by because this hot glue dries really, really fast. So I am going to start with my border here. And sometimes you need to push, at least my hot glue gun, to get enough. I kind of need to push, and I'm kind of going to even it out a little bit because I don't want big dips of hot glue under here just bulging this felt. So I'm gonna place it down here and just kind of flatten it with my hand. Now this might be a little bit hot to the touch, so make sure you, if there's any glue oozing out the side, you want to make sure you don't touch it. It will hurt, it will burn you. I have a high temp one, so these are extremely hot. And your hands will thank you for being careful. So as you can see, I'm already almost out of glue. So I'm glad I have that glue right here nearby. So I'm gonna peel this up and kind of start to do like a little wave back and forth. And then I want to get the edges here. And this will dry really, really extremely fast. So once you get that down, push your felt down, and then again, smooth it. And why I like to smooth it is sometimes there's like little bubbles underneath the felt that get trapped in there. And you smoothing it also moves the hot glue around while it is still pliable. So you're ensuring that you don't have any little raised areas underneath your felt. And again, this is hot to the touch, but you will be okay with this because the felt will protect you a bit. So you're just gonna keep doing that. I also like to use something called a bone folder, and you can just use this and kind of smooth it out as well if you don't want to use your hand because you're afraid it might be too hot. You can get these at a craft store for like $2. Really nice for folding paper and making crisp folds. That's really what they're for, but they're really good for smoothing and other things as well. So now I have my piece of cork with the felt on it. And if you do find that you have some excess felt kind of going over, you can just take your, take this and take your knife and just cut again. So before you move on to putting this in the frame, I would suggest unplugging this. Making sure that it is off. If you're doing several of these, obviously keep it on, but be very careful not to burn yourself in the process. So we are ready to move on. So I'm just gonna unpack this frame here. So I got this frame, it was $9.99 at Hobby Lobby, but it was actually half off. So it was about $5. And then the cork, I believe it was a 4-pack for about $8 or something. So the price for this so far with just the frame and the cork was about $7, plus the felt was, I think, less than $1. So those things, including the materials that you probably have at home, like scissors, a ruler, hot glue. This is about a $10 project. So you have to start peeling these up here. And I like to use a palette knife here if it gets stuck. I don't want to, you know, hurt underneath my nails. So I start to do this here. And just make sure they're really up, because when you put this back in, you need this to be flush against the frame. If it's dipping in a little bit, it will be very, very difficult to pop this in. So you are gonna slowly pop this out here. Be very, very careful with this glass here. So you're gonna take away the glass. And you're gonna take away the inside part, but you still do need this back part, this back piece. So I'm gonna carefully put my glass to the side, carefully put it to the side, and then I'm going to flip my cork into this frame. And put my back on. Here we go, there it is. You want to make sure that this is at the top. If you use that, I'm a person that uses command strips because I rent, so I do not use screws. And then this is the part where you push the tabs back down. Now the cork is a little bit thicker than just the glass, so some of these tabs, it might be a little bit difficult to push these down with just your finger. So find something. You could use like an old gift card to help yourself push these down. And that's just how my frame is. Maybe your frame is nothing like mine, and that's totally fine. So once we have everything, I'm gonna flip it over, and there is my cork board. So then I can start to put, you know, some little pins on it. Maybe I'll pick some of my Toy Story pins. And just start to arrange my board. So this is a really nice pin board. The pins do go almost all the way through. So this last part here, this back here, is a little bit hard to punch through a little bit, but depending on what thickness of cork you get, this will just fit right in there. It doesn't wiggle around. And so this is a really nice board here, especially if you want a theme for a specific movie. You can just DIY it yourself, or you could just choose a plain background color, you know. Just think about what background you want. So maybe you have a specific movie in mind or a specific pin you collect, and you would like the background to be a specific color. Maybe you collect Ursula pins and you're going to do a purple background if you're not interested in painting this yourself, and that is totally fine. Yeah, you have a pretty nice pin board right here. Guys, you made it to the end. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. If you have these tools, I would highly suggest to go about doing it this way. It's really inexpensive and it looks so cute. It just makes your pins pop. Let me know below what kind of pin boards you are interested in making. I personally have that Toy Story pin board, and I also have an Up pin board I created of Paradise Falls, and I'm thinking about doing a Jolly Holiday one as well. But if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe below. It just makes my day when people comment on my stuff and they like it. It just brings me so much happiness and magic. So thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, bye.